All righty then. Hello, everyone. We are part of the Stronger Together slate with Evangeline Byers. And I want to take a little time out today to speak to the young man who's going to be running for the station's department VP. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome, Mr. Charlie Muniz. Welcome, sir.
Hi, Mr. Murray. How you doing?
We're okay over here, sir. We're okay. Sir, what is your plan for snow duty?
Yeah, I know people are gonna think it's a little early to be talking about snow duty, but we have to be prepared. Last year, we got hit with a couple of snowstorms. A lot of people weren't paid on time. Some weren't paid for up to 2 months. I think some also owed some money. From what I heard, I spoke to one cleaner. He told me he hasn't gotten paid yet for snow duty. I'm like, really? I mean, this is ridiculous. One thing, and I said it before, is that we have 9 snow locations. We want to visit all 9 snow locations, get every cleaner's name and pass number, and get the supervisor in charge of them, get also the name and their pass number and the GSM, and make sure that these people get paid on time. Okay, if we have it on paper, there is no excuse for these people not to get paid on time. I mean, we go out there, snow duty is heavy work, especially when you work 12, 14, 16 hours and then you have to come back, especially on your RDO, which nobody wants to work on their RDOs. And then when they open up that paycheck and see that the money isn't there, I mean, that's disheartening, and it's low. It creates low morale, and people just don't want to do it anymore. So the MTA, they also need to get punished. But one thing is, next contract, if I'm elected, I'm going to push that the MTA gets punished severely for not paying these people on time. These bullshit little fines that they get, I think $25 is the top fine when somebody doesn't get paid on time. Is nothing. $25 30 years ago was something. It's nothing now. That's less than an hour's pay. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, I think that it should go to at least $1,000 plus, because the only reason why they're doing this is that it's not hurting them economically.
Exactly, and they collect interest on the money that they keep. So they can keep it for as long as they want, and they collect interest on it, and we get nothing. We just get the regular amount. I mean, nothing, no bonuses or anything. So there has to be some sort of punishment where it benefits the members, especially those who work hard.
Now, as you know, and everybody does know, the money is no longer in the booth. You clarified eloquently that management took cash out of the booth with the blessings of Utano, Richard, and Kelly. Now, sir, I need to ask you a question. Do you know why, or do you have any instances of why the Long Island Railroad and the Metro North, at this particular point as we speak, they are now dealing with money and we are not?
Well, my theory is that 2 things. One, they're big Cuomo supporters upstate, okay? The other thing also is that it's a race issue. 77% of the people down here in transit, New York City Transit, are Black or Hispanic or other, okay, meaning minorities. 91% of the Long Island Railroad is Caucasian, okay? So that tells you one thing. The other thing, they're affluential up there. There's money up there, and those people vote. So that's another thing. People vote in droves over there. Down here, it's very difficult to get people to vote.
So in essence, it's more of a convenience for them and an inconvenience for us, correct?
Right, exactly. And the race plays an issue because most subway riders are minorities. Most Long Island Railroad riders are Caucasian or people with money. So money plays a big role. Political influences play a big role. And those are the reasons why there hasn't been cash in our booth, even though we supply the majority of the money to the MTA. Now, wouldn't you want, as a business, to satisfy those customers who are contributing a lot more money to your business? Why this MTA doesn't do that? It's political. It's a political game they're playing. It is. It has nothing to do about cash. It just has to do with the political climate.
Now, I know that you saw, as well as I did, and many others of our team, where Utano finally gets in front of a camera and starts saying you know, it's time to bring the money back in the booth. It's time. I mean, where was this guy a couple of months ago? I mean, where was he? I mean, you know, he's the president of this union, and you know, he feigns to be angry and upset, but he's the president of this union, and then he sits back and goes, just bring it back into the, I mean, you know, how do you see that, sir?
He's blustering. This is a man who said he wouldn't let his kids ride the train.
Yes.
So why would he care about, if you don't care to let your kids ride on the train, why would you care about other people that you don't know ride the train? Okay, so he doesn't really care. It's a political ploy. He knows that his presidency in the union is waning. People are tired of his crap. He's done nothing. He's been part of the union for 40 years, and he really hasn't done anything for the union. If anybody could tell me one positive thing he's done, I'll be surprised, because I haven't found anything positive about this man. I don't dislike him. I don't know him. Never met him. Don't want to meet him. Don't really care about him. But the way he cares about the members, that's the way I feel about him.
Now, you mentioned something that was a shock, and people tend to forget it, so you brought it up, I'm going to bring it up again. He basically said that he would take union dues to make sure that his family would ride not on the subway, but find another way of transportation. Is that correct, sir?
I'm speechless when it comes to that. You got this is one of the few times that I'm speechless. So I won't comment on that, because then you might get a couple of cuss words that coming out of me, and
okay.
I don't want to do it.
All right. Now, you recently said that it is reported that we had an average of 2.1% raise, and the MTA raised the bridges and tunnels. And you asked a very, very good question, and I'm going to let you expound on it. You said that since the contract, they wanted us to have the contract, how good is this contract for the MTA workers, sir?
This contract is lousy. I said it from the very beginning. I mean, Richard and Kelly, they had that little team make about approximately 10 videos pushing for this contract in the stations department. This contract, of course they raise union dues, because every time we get a raise, the union reaps the benefits. They raised our drug prescriptions. For instance, let me just tell you about my drug prescription. I have slight blood pressure, high blood pressure. So I was taking a medication, and it was costing me $10 a month with the old plan, okay, under the old contract. They raised it $35 a month now. Okay, I don't want to pay $35, so I had to go with a generic brand now, and to me, it's not really helping me as much, because it makes me nauseous. So, but I have to take it. So I pay $10 now again, $10 a month. So how did that benefit me? Also, we knew that inflation was gonna rise. Inflation now is at 6%. Okay, not counting food and other things, but gas is up. Rents, we know rents haven't gone down. They just keep going up and up. Everything's going up except our raises. 2.1% might have been acceptable a couple of years ago, but this is the third contract in a row that we average less than the rate of inflation. The other thing is that if you recall, when we went to the MTA board meeting last year, they gave us a booklet, and in that booklet was their budget, or what, or the future budget, whatever and they set aside 2% for raises. So when the union says, "Oh, we got you an 8% raise or 9% raise over 4 years," well, let's get rid of the first year, because the 2% raise that we got the first year is going to go towards a high medical, high union dues, and so really, everything went up. Okay. The other thing is that so they gave us 9%, but when inflation goes up 6% in 1 year, and it's projected to go up another 4 or 5% next year, that's it. That's it for our raise. We're making less. As a matter of fact, if we go back to 2014, when this 2.1% raises occurred, okay, the beginning, we were already behind over the 8 ball. We look at the and anybody could do this. Go on the internet and look up how much a dollar was worth in 2014 and compare it now, and then compare the gas prices then and now. Compare rents to now. Compare food till now. I mean, there's a big. We're behind the eight ball. We keep falling behind, and Tier 6 hasn't helped us because I'm a Tier 6 person, as you are, and we're paying more than Tier 4. So we're paying up to 6% into our pension.
Now, is it true that this union leadership gave Governor Cuomo money, and he didn't do what they thought he would do?
Yes, they gave him up to at least $500,000 into his campaign war chest. Okay, they bragged about it. Utano and Pete Donahue bragged about it, that they got the state assembly to approve changes to do Tier 6, and they were just waiting for the governor's signature on it. Well, the governor promised he would sign it. He waited till after he was elected, and then he goes, "Sorry guys, you're not getting anything." And Utano and I'm sure Pete Donahue wrote this little thing on the website where that they're disappointed, but they can understand because of Cuomo is working towards helping, and I'm paraphrasing, helping transit workers. Well,
now
it hasn't happened yet.
Now on that, now this is not the first time that this type of silence has occurred. There was a Zoom meeting where Chuck Schumer flat out said there's no hazard pay. And what was Tony Utano's response?
This was his response. I'm going to show you right now. No words. This was his response. That's it. That was his response. And I will post a picture. If people haven't seen it, I put a still of it. And that was his response. Nothing like, hey, but you know, I mean, we worked and, you know, a lot of workers died and a lot of us got sick. Their family was affected. Nothing like, there was no protest. Okay, it was just a total silence. And not only Tony Utano, I don't want to blame him because John Samuelson was there too. And as the head of the international, he should have spoke up and he did not.
Right.
So for us to put blame on Utano, solely on Utano, it's wrong. Let's put it where it lies to, and that's John Samuelson.
Now, sir, you boldly said that Tony Utano, CED VP Shirley Martin, and then VP Linwood Witchard signed an agreement to allow private contractors to do the cleaning. Now, I kept hearing that the cleaners were supposed to learn from these non-union workers. So my question to you is, what did the CTAs learn?
Nothing. Andy Byford said that we will learn techniques on how to clean. We will use special chemicals that they're using so we can use it. And the machinery that they're using, we're going to use. None of that occurred.
So the machinery,
that was a waste of money.
So the machinery and things that they use, they didn't teach us how to use it, that we can actually use this stuff when they eventually would leave. So basically, that was a waste of money and it was a lie.
That was a lie, a total lie. If anybody can disprove what I'm saying, please do, because I'll apologize and I will go on here and I would admit my mistakes. But I know for a fact that we haven't been given new equipment, we haven't been given new supplies, we haven't been taught anything. So this was a complete. And let me just state that Veronica Vanderpool, who used to be on the MTA board, specifically, and these are the words coming out of her mouth. She said, and I quote, "It is a waste of money when you have qualified people doing that job to have contractors doing this job." So I'm quoting somebody from the MTA board. Well, she's no longer there. Excuse me.
Yeah, she's not.
She was a part of it. Yeah, she left. But this is a person on the MTA board who specifically brought this out and told their members that it didn't make any sense to spend this kind of money to bring in outside contractors to do a job that we currently do.
Now, you mentioned the MTA board. I want to invite the whole entire stations department, when there is an MTA board meeting, to come down to that board meeting and speak truth to power. Okay? You know, speaking on Facebook is nice, speaking on Zoom is nice, but these are the people who make the decisions as such. They are the MTA board meeting. They are the MTA board. You will stand in front of them. You have 2 minutes to speak. My suggestion to you, if you're really that pissed off, if you're really that angry, or even if you want to give a valid suggestion, this is the time to actually do this. You can contact me, or you can inbox me or Charlie with the schedules, but the whole entire stations department needs to fill that place up. It happens in the morning. It's like going to a union meeting, and you have 2 minutes to speak truth to power, and they have to sit there, a captive audience, and you talk to them. Okay, they're there. All right, it's the president of the MTA and all his people that are there, and most likely the new, I guess the new person that'll be in charge who takes over Sarah Feinberg, he or she will probably be there also. But the bottom line is that it is time for the stations department to speak truth to power without fear. Sir, as you know, this is election time, and there's a lot of chicanery that's going on. I'm going to ask you point blank, do you think that there will be trickery to keep Yatano in office in this election, sir?
Well, let me just go back to what you were saying. I want to comment on what you were saying about the MTA board meeting.
Yes, sir.
There is none, from what I gather, there is no MTA board meeting this month,
Right.
but there's one next month. And
September.
barring any unforeseeable emergency or whatever, I should be there speaking. And I would like to speak to them because I want to speak to these MTA board members who are all millionaires or close to being millionaires who don't ride the trains. And we need people to speak up and tell them, hey, you know, we need money in the booth. We need this, we need that. We deal with these hazardous conditions, you know, because these are people that don't take the blame for making these bad decisions. We take all the heat. Anybody in orange vest taking that heat. So whatever dumb decisions they make, we're paying the price. So we got to let them know, hey, you're not going to get away with that. You know, you're making this dumb decision. We're going to direct people towards you so you can explain to them how you came to this conclusion to remove money to, let me just point out that 14% of New Yorkers don't have a bank account. And if they do, they don't trust these Omni machines because sometimes these Omni machines, they double charge you. Okay, so 14% of the people don't want to pay. The Long Island Railroad, they accept credit cards. Okay, the booths accept credit cards. We don't. I mean, that's another. The MTA is going to cry poverty. They're going to say, "Oh, our levels are still only at 50% of capacity." Well, let me tell you something. It'll be a lot more because those trains are crowded now. Okay, it'll be a lot more. You have less people. Before the pandemic, they said that they were losing $300 million in people avoiding paying the fare. Well, I want to see the numbers this year because I'm sure it's closer to $2 billion because people are in pain.
No, they're not.
Okay, and they're gonna cry poverty. But you know what? They're creating their own problems because they could be selling Metro cards and have these people pay, but people get frustrated. I mean, really, they see somebody in the booth and they're trying to buy a Metro card, and then the machines aren't working. 90% of the time, those damn machines aren't working. Okay, I used to work at 191st Street on the one line, and I could swear, and may God strike me dead every day. Those damn machines weren't working. So you know how frustrated these people get, and then they take out their frustrations on people like myself, people on the people in the booth. I mean, I've seen, and I don't know how you guys do it because I can't take somebody threatening me or cursing me out or spitting at my window or saying I'm going to beat you up as soon as you get out of that booth. I mean, that's scary stuff.
We are focused. We know our job and we do it very well, but suffer no delusions. We're not no one's punching bag. You know, dignity came with the universe, and we will not allow anyone to harm us. And that's just the bottom line. You know, say what you want, yell, scream. You know, we'll press the EBS button, have the cops come down, but you don't put your hand on us because we're not going to put up with that. And it's a sad thing that we have to verbally say that. But the bottom line is that there are certain individuals, it's not the whole entire city, but there are certain individuals who think they're big and they're bad and they're this and they're that, and they try, and you know, it is what it is, sir. Going back.
I lost track of the question. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I
but
know. I'm going to go back. I know. Do you do you think there's going to be trickery to keep Yatano in office?
do I think? You mean, do I know this trickery? Of course there is. It's already, it was planned. I posted it up, and I think you responded to it. This was a couple of months ago.
Yep.
That I expect trickery and deceit by this administration to win this election. And sure enough, they didn't disappoint. They
Nope.
changed the rules.
Yep.
They're not allowing people who were out sick. I mean, remember, they called us heroes for coming into work during this COVID crisis.
Heroes,
They
essential
were complaining.
workers, all these good
Yeah.
flowery words, and then bam.
And now you want to punish people from running for this for office, or people who want to vote can't vote. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't have it both ways. How are you going to call us heroes and then punish people who couldn't come to work, who got sick because Tony Utano refused to go up to management and say, hey, my workers are dying, my workers are getting sick, let's shut down the system for 2 weeks and sanitize the whole damn thing. No, he refused to do that because he's a coward. Okay. He was in Cuomo's back pocket. And look now, Cuomo, he's still in office, but he resigned over a week ago, and not one word from the union. Why are they so silent? Why do they continue to protect this man? Why is that? Does he have something over their heads? I mean, something just doesn't make any sense. This is a man who has been accused of sexual harassment by at least 10 women. And not one word from the biggest supporters. The only thing I got was from John Samuelson, who now is trying to steer he's trying to steer his ass towards Letitia James. Well, Miss James hasn't announced that she's running for governor, so I hope she doesn't. So that way, I hope she doesn't, because this guy's trying to latch onto her now and he's trying to stay in office. He's trying to protect his work, not his work. He's trying to protect his flunkies. And I know I use harsh words, but I speak the truth. But
Go ahead.
No, so I mean, that's a problem with this union, that they don't protect its members. They punish them. And remember, we're dues paying people. It ain't like we're looking for a free ride.
Now, Charlie, now, Mr. Muniz, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We are doing things behind the scenes, sir. Things that you just don't know about.
Yeah, like what? Like what? Please fill us in. I mean, one or two things, fill us in. Everything's, what is it, secret society?
Well, see, sir, what you don't understand is that we recently discovered that there was a overpayment, I think, in the tier 6. And we found that out, sir.
9 years in the making, they found out, and a month before nominations, they discovered this error. Really?
Yeah, I said,
talk about, that's bad detective work. I'm sorry.
I said, where was this? Why now? January, February, March, April. Why couldn't you discover it then? I mean, really? I mean, why are you going to do it now? It's all political,
Of course it is. It is, and I hate to interrupt, but also they want money back in the booth. Well, they had 16 months to ask to put on a news conference. They put one on last week. 16 months without money in the booth, and now they're crying about it. I wonder why. Could it be because it's election time?
I think so, and I want to be very, very clear. They had a conversation, just to use the words of my dear friend, my comrade John Ferretti. They had a conversation about us without us, and that's not right. That's not right. I am pretty sure that if they would have told the station agents department that they're going to have a news conference, could we come down there and support? We're not even talking about talking. We're talking about showing up, because there's strength in numbers. But they had Stand United personnel there, and that was it. Anyone that was the opposition was not there, not that I know of. And I know because I asked around, and nobody who was the opposition was there. So that's another political move that they have done. The uncovering of tier 6, and also you're doing a conference where there is no opposition there. I mean, were they afraid we may say something?
Well, there was no opposition. I mean, but they didn't have to reach out to the opposition if they wanted to keep. But they should have reached out to station agents who aren't running, who aren't.
Right.
I mean, they could have had they had one station agent speak up, and guess what? She's a member of this administration. So, yes. I mean, so how come they didn't ask people who aren't affiliated with any other outsiders or the competition or whatever you want to call it?
It's all political,
what did they
sir.
have any, yeah, I mean, like you said, the strength in numbers, and we got to put aside, we got to put aside our feelings and invite everybody to these news conferences because, like you said, the strength in numbers. So, yes. I mean, it was a poorly orchestrated news conference where they had less than 20 members out there, which really doesn't help their cause.
I mean, you got less than 20 members and you have a department of 5,000. I mean, really? This is all you can get?
It's really sad.
And see, my thing is this: I'm pretty sure that people's RDOs coincide with that conference. Okay, but it's all political. I mean, you basically pointed out, and when I saw this, I began the process of just smiling. You said that all recyclables belong in a blue bin, not the Union Hall. Sir, can you explain that to me?
Sure, easy. This is simple. The people that are elected have been around for too many years. They've been reelected and reelected. And also, you also have people running now who were in office before. And I'm sorry, when you were given the opportunity to represent us, you didn't. So you don't deserve another chance, okay? And people down here forget what these people did. People who are currently in office, I mean, like Tony Utano's been around for 40 years. 40 years is a long ass time. I was in high school then. I was a teenager.
Now let's be very, very clear. We who are here, who are under 10 years, we are considered to be the youngsters, okay? The older ones are here between 11, 15, 20 plus odd years. When we came into this union, we were hit with tier 6. They were here before we got here. What did they do? When we came in here, there was a problem with snow duty. They've been here before us. What did they do? And now they expect us to say, maybe you'll get it with a second time around.
Second, third time around, fourth time around. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names this time, but I usually do. But this time I'm going to stay above that. But they know who they are. They know that they've been in office, or that they're running again for an office that they held, or another position. Okay, but they were in office and they accomplished nothing. So why should these people deserve another chance? You already proven that you didn't do anything when you were in office. So why should we give you another chance? Tell me why. I'll debate anybody on that issue.
But Mr. Muniz, you have to understand, I've been here a long time, but I don't have the power. But I'm going to run because I think I can make a change.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If you don't have the power or you don't have the influence, then why run? If you don't have the guts, if you don't have the courage, if you don't have the voice, then why run? You're just running because you want to get, you know what it is? A lot of these people just want to get away from their tools. That's it.
And don't forget, a 6-figure salary.
That too. Now, and let me just say, if I do get into office, let me clarify that. When I get into office, you're gonna see my ass out there. I may have bad legs, but I can walk, and I will meet the members, and you'll see me out there during snow duty, making sure that these people get paid. Okay, making sure that my phone, when it rings, if I can't answer it, I'll make sure that somebody will answer it. Okay, because I don't want anybody to go through what we've gone through. CTAs have been disrespected from day one, and I'm a CTA, and I know what they go through, and I'll be their spokesman, and I'll make sure that they get treated the right way.
Now, just to let you know, we have not had a CTA VP. Okay? Now, this is important for CTAs to understand that.
Well, I mean, Robert Kelly was a CTA. He hasn't been a CTA. He's been a CTA in name only the past couple of years. But you're right. There hasn't been an elected. CTA to be president. Vice president of stations. So it's time for a change. It's time. I mean, we had a lot of station agents come and go. They see it, and people see us or they view us as dummies because we clean. I mean, we don't use, it's not brain work. We don't use our brains to work. Okay. And I said I wasn't gonna use foul language, but I am. We make clean shit, but we ain't shit.
That's right.
Okay. So so don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. Just because we get down and dirty and we have a job that is disgusting, okay, we have brains, we have knowledge, and we're strong people because we have to deal not only with bodily fluids, but we have to deal with the public, we have to deal with the drug addicts, we have to deal with the bums, we have to deal with the homeless situation, we have to deal with crime, and it takes a special person to be a CTA. Not everybody can be a CTA. You got to be mentally there to do it. So, and we get pounced on because when people get demoted, where do they wind up?
Stations department. So
CTA, yeah.
I personally know CTAs who basically have degrees. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, it is time now for the CTAs to step up to the plate, take their rightful place, and let's start getting this stuff done. I mean, enough is enough already. I don't want to keep you, sir, but I do want to thank you for your time. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is I appreciate you having me on. I thank you. I think these questions that you threw at me were perfect because I was able to answer them and give people a my view of things. Also the lies, I mean, because the union leadership, not the union, but the union leadership lies to us. And it's time that people like myself spoke out. And I've been an outspoken person regarding this union's leadership, and I will continue to do that. And I hope this November, people, when they get their ballot, vote for people who actually will do it or will try to make a change. Okay, people who aren't scared to speak up, people who have courage to face those who are making decisions. Don't just vote for your friends because you're gonna wind up in the same situation. And we need change. Stop being afraid of change. It's time people take a risk and go, wait, even though I don't like this guy, I think he'll do the job. And that's it. That's all we ask. Vote independently. Vote for the right person, not for the slate or for a friend or a group or whatever. Vote for the person you think is gonna work. Do what's best for you.
Amen, my brother. God bless you, and I will be talking to you soon. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, sir. You have a good day too.